The internet just exploded. And this time, it's not just rumors, it's heartbreak on full display. Because sources are claiming that Joseline Hernandez, the self-proclaimed Puerto Rican princess, the woman who never backs down from a fight, has completely unraveled behind the scenes after discovering that her own fiancé, Ballistic Beats, didn't just move on. He allegedly moved on fast, hard, and with a baby on the way. Yes, pregnant. While she was still wearing the ring, while she was still defending him publicly, while she was still claiming forever. This isn't just a breakup, this is betrayal at nuclear levels. Whispers started late last night when a blurry ultrasound photo hit social media tied to a woman fans had already spotted around Ballistic. Then came the bombshell. Insiders claiming he's not denying it, not hiding it, not even apologizing for it. And Joseline, we're hearing she completely broke down when the confirmation allegedly reached her. Tears, screaming, phones thrown, close friends scrambling to calm her down. The woman who built an empire on dominance, blindsided. The woman who called him her king, replaced. And if you think she's handling this quietly, think again. Because what she's reportedly preparing to expose next, it might burn everything down. When the whispers first started, nobody believed them. Because how do you tell the internet that Joseline Hernandez, the woman who built an entire brand on dominance, fire, and never being played, was allegedly the one who got played? It didn't make sense, until it did. The first crack in the fairy tale didn't come from Joseline, it came from a soft launch that nobody caught at first. A faceless Instagram account posted a photo of a luxury dinner setup. Champagne, rose petals, a man's arm visible in the corner wearing a very familiar watch, the same oversized diamond piece fans have seen on Ballistic Beats countless times. At first, people brushed it off, but then came the caption, "Building a family the right way." That's when timelines froze, because building a family the right way? That's a loaded sentence when your fiancé is still publicly engaged to one of reality TV's most explosive personalities. Within hours, internet detectives went to work. Screenshots surfaced. A private Instagram page linked to a woman rumoured to be close to Ballistic suddenly flipped from private to public for just 20 minutes. And in that tiny window, chaos slipped through. A mirror selfie, a barely there baby bump, a man's hand resting protectively over her stomach. The comments section exploded before the page went private again. Fans were tagging Joseline in everything. "Girl, is this true? Please tell me this fake. Say something." And at first she didn't. But silence from someone like Joseline isn't peace. It's pressure building. According to insiders, she allegedly found out the same way the public did, through a flood of messages. One source claims her phone wouldn't stop vibrating as people sent her screenshots of the ultrasound image that began circulating next. Yes, an ultrasound, with a due date that suggested this pregnancy wasn't brand new, meaning while she was posting anniversary throwbacks, while she was calling him my husband in interviews, while she was flexing loyalty, something else was already growing. The betrayal wasn't just emotional, it was timeline-shattering. A close friend, who asked not to be named, allegedly said Joseline went from confused to furious in under 10 minutes. First came denial, then came the call. Ballistic reportedly didn't answer the first 3 times. By the 4th call, according to the same insider, she was screaming before he even said hello. Now here's where things get messy. Because instead of a dramatic confession, what she allegedly got was cold detachment. He didn't sound sorry, the source claims. He sounded calm. Calm, while she was breaking. Allegedly, he admitted the relationship had been complicated for months, that they were taking space, that he didn't think it would turn into this. But space doesn't create pregnancies, and this doesn't happen by accident. And that's when the meltdown reportedly escalated. We're hearing objects were thrown, not at anyone, but at walls. Doors slammed. A wine glass shattered. Security had to check in after hearing raised voices from inside the home. For someone who has survived public feuds, physical altercations, and legal battles, this hit different. because this wasn't a fight she could swing her way out of. This was humiliation. And humiliation hits harder than any punch. Then came the second wave of chaos. A leaked voice note. An anonymous account posted a short audio clip allegedly of Joseline crying and saying, "He promised me forever." The authenticity hasn't been verified, but the damage was done. Because fans weren't just gossiping anymore, they were witnessing what looked like heartbreak. And heartbreak from someone who has always positioned herself as untouchable. That's seismic. Meanwhile, Ballistic's rumoured new girlfriend went completely silent. No denial. No confirmation. Just one cryptic Instagram story hours later. A photo of a positive pregnancy test with a white heart emoji. That's it. No name, no tag. But everyone knew. The internet turned vicious. Some dragged Joseline, some defended her, some said this was karma for her past feuds. Others said nobody deserves to be blindsided like that. And then, just when it seemed like the storm couldn't get louder, another alleged insider dropped a bomb. They claimed Ballistic had been splitting his time between homes for weeks. Weeks. Meaning while Joseline was still posting couple content, the other relationship was allegedly already active. If that's true, this wasn't an impulsive mistake, it was a double life. Now imagine being Joseline, the woman who has built shows around loyalty tests, the woman who publicly drags anyone who disrespects her, and now she's the headline. By midnight, she finally broke her silence. But not directly. She posted a single black screen with white text, "God removes what you can't see." That was it. No names. No explanation. But the message was loud. Fans read it as confirmation, critics read it as damage control. But those close to her say she wasn't thinking about optics. She was thinking about survival. Because beyond the cameras, beyond the brand, beyond the bravado, there's a woman who allegedly believed she was building a life. And now that life looks like a lie. But here's the twist that changes everything. The same insider who described her breakdown also claims Joseline isn't just grieving. She's gathering receipts, screenshots, bank transfers, messages, promises. And if she decides to go public with what she allegedly has, this won't just be a messy breakup, it will be exposure at nuclear levels. And knowing Joseline's history, when she feels betrayed, she doesn't cry quietly. She detonates. The only question now is whether she's about to forgive or set the whole thing on fire. By sunrise, this wasn't just a breakup rumour anymore. It was a full-blown digital wildfire. Because the second wave didn't come from gossip pages, it came from alleged screenshots. An anonymous account dropped what they claimed were direct messages between Ballistic Beats and the woman rumoured to be pregnant. The timestamps were the real gut punch. Or dates overlapping with public moments when Joseline Hernandez was posting anniversary tributes, calling him her soulmate and flexing engagement photos. If the screenshots are real and that's still unverified, they paint a devastating picture. "Can't wait till we don't have to hide anymore." That line alone detonated timelines. Because hiding means choice. Hiding means awareness. Hiding means he allegedly knew exactly what he was doing. The messages didn't stop there. Another screenshot suggested discussions about starting fresh and doing it the right way this time. The phrasing hit like a slap. The right way? What does that make the years he spent publicly building a brand with Joseline? Fans weren't just reacting, they were dissecting. One viral thread broke down every public appearance over the last 6 months. They pointed out moments where Ballistic looked distant in interviews. A red carpet where he didn't hold her waist the way he used to. A live stream where he corrected her mid-sentence and she forced a laugh. In hindsight, everything started looking like evidence. And then came the alleged confrontation. A source claiming to be very close to the situation told a popular gossip blogger that Joseline didn't just cry. She demanded answers face to face. According to this insider, Ballistic eventually came over late that night after the calls and chaos. And that's when things exploded. No cameras, no production crew, just raw emotion. The insider claims she asked one question over and over again. When did this start? Not if, when. Because by then, denial was gone. The alleged response? It wasn't supposed to get serious. That sentence reportedly shattered whatever was left, because nothing says serious like a pregnancy rumor swirling across the internet. According to the source, Joseline went from heartbreak to fury in seconds. She allegedly accused him of humiliating her, of making her look foolish while he was building a secret future somewhere else. At one point, the insider claims she told him, "You used my platform and built a new life behind my back." Now, whether that exact quote was said, no one can confirm. But the sentiment is echoing everywhere. Because here's the deeper layer people are starting to talk about. Ballistic didn't just date Joseline. He became part of her empire. He appeared on her shows. He benefited from the exposure. He gained visibility through her massive following and television presence. Their brand was intertwined. And if he was simultaneously nurturing another relationship during that time, critics are calling it strategic. That word, strategic, is what turned this from messy to sinister. Another alleged insider claimed the new girlfriend had been around industry events quietly for months. Not introduced as the girlfriend, just present, observing, waiting. If that's true, this wasn't sudden. This was calculated. Meanwhile, the rumored new girlfriend finally posted something that sent shockwaves through the comment sections. A short clip, just her hand on her stomach. No face, no name. But the caption? Protected. Protected. The internet read it as a declaration. Protected by who? Protected from what? Protected from Joseline? The comment sections became war zones. More fans of Joseline flooded the page with snake emojis and loyalty quotes. Others told her to move on gracefully. Some even speculated that this pregnancy, again rumoured, might be the reason Ballistic allegedly seemed emotionally distant in recent months. And while this chaos unfolded, Joseline's silence became deafening. Then came the live, unannounced, unfiltered. She went live at 2:17 a.m., eyes puffy, makeup smudged, voice tight. She didn't say names, but she didn't have to. "I've been loyal," she said. "I've been solid. I don't deserve to look stupid." The comments were flying so fast they were unreadable. At one point, she paused, stared directly into the camera and said, "Don't let a man build off your back and then build a new house somewhere else." That line went viral within minutes. Clipped, reposted, analysed. It sounded less like sadness and more like warning. Because here's where things shift. Sources now claim Joseline isn't just hurt. She's angry in a way that feels organised. There are rumours she's reviewing contracts, reviewing financial ties, reviewing business arrangements connected to their joint ventures. If Ballistic's name is attached to anything professionally intertwined with her brand, insiders say she's allegedly looking at every line with a microscope. And that's when people started whispering about exposure. Not emotional exposure, financial exposure. One anonymous industry figure hinted that there may have been investments and shared assets involved in their partnership. Nothing illegal, nothing confirmed, but enough entanglement that a breakup wouldn't be clean. If that's true, this isn't just heartbreak. Truly, it's a potential power struggle. And power struggles with someone like Joseline, they don't end quietly. But here's the twist nobody expected. A new rumour surfaced late this afternoon. Someone claiming to know the pregnant woman said the timeline might not be as clear as it looks. They suggested the pregnancy could have begun during a period when Joseline and Ballistic were on a break. That word again. Break. If that narrative gains traction, it could reshape everything. Because if there was an actual separation, even if private, it changes the story from cheating to complicated overlap. The problem? Joseline has not publicly acknowledged any break, and perception moves faster than clarification. Right now, the internet believes one thing: she was blindsided. Whether that's the full truth or just the loudest version of it, it's the narrative winning. And narratives are powerful. They shape sympathy. They shape careers. They shape legacies. If Joseline leans into heartbreak, she becomes the betrayed queen. If she leans into fury, she becomes the unstoppable force. But if she exposes details that damage Ballistic's credibility, this could escalate into something uglier than a breakup. Because there's one more alleged piece to this puzzle. A voice memo, different from the crying one, surfaced hours ago. This one allegedly features a man's voice saying, "I thought she'd find out later. The authenticity is unverified. But if real, that sentence changes everything. Find out later, meaning he allegedly expected this to come out, meaning he allegedly planned for timing. And if timing was calculated, then heartbreak wasn't accidental. It was collateral. Now the tension is unbearable. Joseline has gone quiet again. Ballistic hasn't posted in 24 hours. The rumoured girlfriend's page is locked. And insiders say Joseline is meeting with someone tomorrow morning. Not a therapist, not a friend, a lawyer. If that's true, the next chapter won't be emotional. It'll be strategic. And when Joseline Hernandez decides to move strategically, people don't just get dumped, they get dismantled. By the third day, the tears had dried. And that's when people who really know Joseline Hernandez started getting nervous. Because heartbreak Joseline is one thing. Strategic Joseline? That's a different beast entirely. The internet was still chewing on ultrasound rumours and alleged DMs when a new detail slipped out. And this one didn't come from gossip blogs. It came from someone claiming to work in production. According to this insider, Joseline allegedly requested emergency edits to upcoming footage tied to her brand. Not because she wanted to hide, but because she wanted to reposition. That word, reposition, sent shockwaves. Because this wasn't just about pain anymore, this was about narrative control. And if there's one thing Joseline understands better than anyone, it's how to turn chaos into content. But before we get to the strategy, we have to talk about the moment that changed everything. Because while fans were speculating about lawyers and contracts, a private confrontation reportedly went nuclear. A source close to the situation claims that when Joseline allegedly saw confirmation that Ballistic Beats had been present at a doctor's appointment with the rumoured pregnant girlfriend, something inside her snapped. Not emotionally, mentally. Because doctor's appointments aren't casual. They're commitment, they're partnership, they're stepping into fatherhood. And if he was attending those appointments while still publicly engaged, that's not confusion, that's duality. The insider claims she confronted him one final time. No screaming, no objects thrown, just one sentence delivered cold. Say it with your chest. Meaning, admit it. Admit you moved on. Admit you're building something else. Admit I was the bridge. We don't know exactly what he said, but what we do know is that less than 12 hours later, something happened that nobody saw coming. Joseline wiped her Instagram. Not completely, but selectively. Every recent couple photo, gone. Every anniversary caption, deleted. Every post calling him her forever, scrubbed. In their place, a single photo. Her, alone. And captioned, I build, I don't beg. That line detonated across social media, because now this wasn't a woman pleading for answers. This was a woman rebranding in real time. Fans immediately split into camps. Some screamed empowerment. Others whispered that the pregnancy rumour must be real if she's cleaning house like that. Meanwhile, Ballistic stayed silent, which only made things louder. Then came the alleged financial twist. Another insider claimed that Ballistic had recently stepped back from certain collaborative ventures tied to Joseline's empire. Not officially, not publicly, but subtly. If true, that suggests preparation. Preparation for separation. Preparation for independence. Preparation for fatherhood elsewhere. And that's when the betrayal stopped feeling emotional and started feeling premeditated. Because while Joseline was planning futures on camera, he may have already been planning exits off camera. And here's where it gets dangerously layered. A leaked text exchange, again unverified, began circulating between someone claiming to be in Ballistic's circle and an unnamed third party. One line stood out: "She was never going to accept it quietly." That suggests anticipation. Anticipation of fallout, anticipation of exposure, anticipation of explosion. And yet, Joseline hasn't exploded. Not publicly, not yet. Instead, she's doing something arguably more powerful. She's pivoting. She went live again, but this time calm. Hair sleek, makeup flawless, energy controlled. She didn't mention the pregnancy, she didn't mention Ballistic. Instead, she talked about growth, about elevation, about how sometimes God removes distractions before blessings. The chat was flooded with questions. She ignored them. That silence was intentional, because when you don't confirm, you control. Meanwhile, the rumoured pregnant girlfriend posted something that reignited the fire. A short clip of a nursery mood board. Soft lighting, neutral tones. Caption: "New beginnings, new beginnings." As if the old one never existed. Joseline's fans went feral. They flooded comments with crown emojis and war chants. Some begged her to expose everything. Others warned her to stay classy. But those who've watched her for years know something important. Joseline doesn't stay quiet forever. She calculates. And then she moves. There are now whispers that she's considering a sit-down interview, not a messy rant, a polished reveal. One where she allegedly plans to address timelines, loyalty, and what she claims really happened behind closed doors. If she does that, if she drops receipts, if she confirms overlap, this goes from gossip to scandal. And scandals don't just hurt relationships, they reshape reputations. But here's the final twist nobody can ignore. A rumour surfaced late tonight suggesting that Ballistic's alleged new relationship may not be as stable as it looks. According to someone claiming to know the pregnant woman, there are already tensions, already doubts, already fears about how public this has become. If that's true, then what looked like a clean move forward might already be cracking. And if cracks appear there too, then what was all this for? Right now, we're watching three narratives collide. A woman who feels betrayed but refuses to look broken. A man who allegedly started over before finishing the first chapter. And a new life entering a situation built on controversy. Joseline hasn't cried publicly again. She hasn't screamed. She hasn't dragged him. She's doing something more unsettling. She's glowing, posting gym clips, posting studio sessions, posting business meetings. Almost as if to say, "You didn't destroy me." And that might be the most dangerous message of all. Because heartbreak can weaken, but humiliation can transform. And if Joseline transforms this pain into power, this won't be remembered as the moment she broke down. It'll be remembered as the moment she rebuilt. The only question now is whether she's done grieving, or if the real exposure is still loading. And if you thought this was just another messy breakup, think again. What we just unpacked isn't small. It's not petty. It's not random gossip. This is legacy-level drama. You're talking about Joseline Hernandez, a woman who built her entire empire on dominance, fearlessness, and never being played, now standing in the middle of a public storm involving ballistic beats and a rumoured pregnancy that flipped everything upside down. This isn't just heartbreak. It's power shifting. It's reputation on the line. It's pride, betrayal, business, and a child being pulled into a narrative the internet refuses to let go of. And let's be honest, this story is not over. If she does that sit-down interview, it's going to shake timelines. If he finally speaks, that's another explosion. If receipts drop, it's a wrap. So don't just watch this unfold from the sidelines. I need to hear from you. Was she blindsided? Or were there signs we all ignored? Did he move on too fast? Or was this inevitable? And if you were in her position, would you forgive, expose, or level up and move in silence? Drop your real thoughts in the comments right now. Don't sugarcoat it. If you've been locked in from the hook all the way to this moment, hit that like button so this breakdown reaches everybody who's trying to figure out what's really going on. Subscribe so you don't miss the next update. Because trust me, when the next piece drops, it's going to be loud. And turn those notifications on. Because in this saga, silence never lasts long.